What's up guys, it's your girl Danielle and welcome back to my channel. So I told y'all via Snapchat that I was going to be bringing you 3 new DIYs within the next 2 weeks, and those start with this video. Now, like I was saying, I told y'all via Snapchat. So if you guys do not follow me on Snapchat, you know what you need to do. You need to go ahead and go on your Snapchat right now and follow me on Snapchat. Snapchat is where I keep you guys updated on everything that I'm doing on my channel. Yeah, I have my Instagram, but I don't really use my Instagram that much, and I have Facebook, and I don't never tell nobody about my Facebook because I do not use it. And I don't have Twitter. I had Twitter when it first came out, but Twitter has never really been my thing. I try to get it again, but I just never use it either. So Snapchat is where it's at. So you guys need to follow me on Snapchat so you can stay updated of the things that I'm doing. So as I told you guys before, I am 100% addicted to doing DIYs now. Like, I love to do DIYs, and because I have this lovely camera, I am going to be showing you guys some of the things that I'm doing with these DIYs. Now, as promised, I told you guys, like I said, I was going to be bringing you 3 new DIYs, and these 3 DIYs are actually connected. Like, you'll see by the 3rd video that all 3 of these DIYs are going to come together to create one piece by the end of the last video. Now, the reason I chose to do 3 separate DIYs because the video 1 would be way too long for me to show you everything at the same time. So I'm going to do 3 separate videos because there's actually 3 separate elements that go into creating this one project. Okay, so to kick off this DIY, I am going to start with the first element of my final project. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the wrapped bottles. So basically, I'm going to show you guys how to repurpose bottles that you may have laying around your house, and I'm going to show you how to change them into a decorative piece. And when I say wrapped bottles, I am talking about this. This is the wrapped wine bottle. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make these. The wrapped bottles, I used for this one twine, and I use twine and then a wine bottle. So this is the repurposed item. I bought this to drink the wine that was in it, and instead of throwing the bottle away, I am taking this bottle and I am making a wrapped bottle out of it. See what it looked like? There you go. But since I made this one already, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the other 2 bottles in this video. Now, I'm going to be using more than just this twine. You can make these bottles with more than just twine. I'm going to be making the other 2 bottles not of twine but with yarn. So I have this teal greenish color yarn here, and I have this brown yarn. This yarn and this yarn are 2 different sizes. This one's smaller and this one is a little bit bigger. The size of this yarn is pretty much the same size of this twine. So I'm going to show you how to wrap your bottles, but like I said, I'm not just using this wine bottle. I'm going to be using a bottle similar to this one. I don't think the bottle that I'm going to be using is this one because I already put that bottle outside and it's ready to go. But it's a bottle, same shape as this, it's just a different brand. And basically this is just like a probiotic drink that I had. The purpose of this was to get the contents of this bottle into my body, which I did already. And again, instead of throwing the bottle away, I have this nice glass bottle that I spent $2, maybe $3 on, and I'm going to take off all the labels and I'm going to create another decorative piece with a leftover bottle that was intended for drinking. So we're gonna go outside and I'm going to show you how to make the other 2 bottles for this project. So you like to see it? Here you go. Okay, so we're going to start this project. First, you're going to have to remove all of the labeling from any bottles that you're going to be using for this particular project. And you want to make sure that you're using a bottle that doesn't have any engraved letters, words, numbers on the bottle. You want to make sure that when you take off all the labeling, you have a smooth surface to work with. Then the next thing you're going to need is the E6000 glue. It's my suggestion you use the clear one. I have the white one, and you're going to see why you should use the clear one later on in this video. Then I have my yarn, and I forgot to take this little piece off, so let me take that off real quick. Okay, so now that we're good to go, you're going to apply that glue all the way around the grooves of the top of the bottle where normally the cap would go. Now it's time to start applying the yarn to the bottle, so I'm going to go around the rim with a little bit of that yarn, making sure to place the yarn as close to the top of the rim as possible. This particular yarn sticks very well to this glue. Now once you've got your yarn in place, you're going to start wrapping the rest of the yarn down the bottle. You're going to wrap the yarn as close as possible as you're wrapping it around the bottle. So if you need to pull it or pull and like lift, just wrap it as close together as possible without overlapping. And don't be afraid to use your fingers. If you need to use your fingers to push on the yarn and make sure it's close as possible, you can by all means do so, especially at the rim, because the rim is the hardest part to wrap because of the grooves in the rim originally for the cap. So if you need to use your fingers to kind of push the yarn together, go right ahead and do so. And once you get past that rim, it gets a lot easier to wrap that yarn around the bottle. And on this particular shape of bottle, around the top here where it's starting to curve, you need to make sure that you use a substantial amount of glue, because this yarn is so slippery. If you don't put glue, it could bunch up too much, because unlike the wine bottles gradually go into a curve, and on this bottle the curve is so distinct that it could cause, like I said, the yarn to bunch. So you need to make sure that you're putting glue around that part so it doesn't get bunched up and it stays in place. And now that I've passed that curve, as you can see, it's becoming a lot easier to wrap that yarn around the bottle. As you can see here, I'm just applying more glue and wrapping the yarn around all the way down the bottle, all the way until you get to the very bottom. And the closer you get to the bottom, you can do as you just see me do, turn the bottle over and then kind of turn it. It becomes a lot easier to get that yarn onto the bottle when you turn it upside down. Now once you reach the bottom of the bottle, you just want to press firmly to make sure all of the layers of the yarn are intact. Cut off the remaining yarn and press again to make sure everything is adhesed to the glue. Now I'm going to move on to the wine bottle. I'm just going to repeat the exact same process as I did with the previous bottle, with now the wine bottle and the brown yarn. And previously I did mention that the brown yarn was a lot smaller, a lot thinner than the teal yarn and the twine. And just keep in mind that when you're using the thinner yarn, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get that yarn onto the bottle than if you're using a thicker yarn or if you're using a thicker twine. The smaller the string, yarn, whatever it is that you're using, a lot more difficult the process is going to be. Also, this bottle was the prime example of why I stated in the beginning of this video that it's probably better for you to use the clear E6000 glue over the white E6000 glue. The only reason that I'm using the white E6000 for this project is because I already had that glue for a previous project that I was working on. But if you're going to do this from scratch, it's a lot better to use the clear E6000 glue, simply because this bottle, I'm using a yarn that is so small and so thin, and when the smaller the yarn, the smaller the string, the smaller anything that you're using to wrap these bottles, the harder it's going to be, especially when you're using a glue that's going to, in some cases, seep through the string. Now, if you're using the clear will dry clear. But if you're using the white, you're going to have to work a lot harder to get that string to lay flush against each other. And you're going to have to work a lot harder for that glue not to seep through. So as you see, I'm just going to continue to add glue, wrap it around, add more glue, wrap it around, and just continue wrapping all the way till we get to the bottom, just like the previous jar. And see, here is a prime example of what I was talking about with that white glue. As you can see, as I'm wrapping it towards the bottom, the white glue is seeping through the yarn. So I went back off camera and I redid the bottom so that it would no longer show. And this is what it looked like once it was finished. I also wrapped more yarn around the top of the rim so that it would cover up all those open spots and the white glue that was showing around the top as well. And we're done. I absolutely love how these bottles came out. They're so cute. I love the color combination, and I love the fact that each bottle has its own unique and individual look. And that's because of the yarn and twine choices. They look different but have a uniform style, and I love it. So I'm going to let these sit outside for about 24 hours to dry and to get rid of that heavy glue smell. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you guys in part 2. Bye.